Go!
Oh, right, okay.
You have me. Wow.
So I've chosen to do animal testing as my topic, and I chose to do it because I'm really passionate about it, and I have sort of a lot of knowledge already, so I know a lot about it, and I just thought I could sort of put that into it while I'm doing it. Sort of, yeah. I want to mainly raise awareness of it because I don't think that it's talked about a lot. It's sort of a topic that's not brought up a lot, so I think if I sort of can get people talking about it, it will just raise a lot of awareness about it. So I started my research by looking up facts about animal testing, and I also wanted to look up sort of things like how many animals are tested throughout the UK, as well as other countries, so that I could sort of compare them and see sort of the differences. So some facts that I found out was that in 2016, 3.9 million experiments were carried out across the whole of Great Britain, and that's in all of the labs, so sort of like cosmetic testing, medicational testing, chemicals, all of that. And out of that, 1.9 was genetically altered animals, and they were not used again in any of them, so they were killed. And 2 million of the remaining ones, they were used again in all of the other experiments. There are 3 types of animal testing that is carried out. So there's fundamental, which is like fundamental research, which is basic research, and 46% of it in the UK is fundamental research, so it's sort of done in universities, and it's literally not put towards anything, it's just so that they can sort of find stuff out about animals and how they react and stuff. So that's really pointless. There's genetically modifying animals, so sort of like mice mainly, and then other animals have like genes being put into them or taken out of them, and then they're bred with like other ones, and it is a harmful process for them, and the babies die because they're born with like the defect, and it's so severe so that they die when they're born. And then there's regulatory, which is the medicine one and like the chemical and cosmetic. So I've always loved animals, and I never sort of used to know what they'd done to them when they was younger, but then as I grew up I sort of found out, and it upset me a lot because I love animals, and it's just sort of like I didn't see why they had to do it. Because I just think that animals are innocent, they don't have a voice, they can't really say anything, they can't stand up for themselves for it, and I just think it's stupid because sort of they're doing it so that these brands can have makeup, and I mean other brands have proven that you don't need to do animal testing to...
I don't want to interrupt your presentation, but if people as big as Estee Lauder are still doing it, why are we still buying their goods? Why
exactly. It's sort of like all of these are massive brands like MAC, Benefit, they're all such big brands, and people still buy their products, and then it's just feeding it basically, because then they're just going to keep doing animal testing. And so other brands have proved that you don't need to do animal testing to produce non-harmful makeup. And there are sort of things that can be done. So there's like protests that people do to sort of try and stop it, make it sort of, raise awareness for it. There's campaigns. So right now the Body Shop are doing a campaign for it. And Lush is also a really big brand, and they're sort of known for being against it because, if you buy any of their products, the bags that come in, sort of it has, we're fighting against animal testing. And then there's also websites that you can go on and you can sign up for sort of to show that you're against it, and so my unique selling point is that I'm a teenager and I'm really passionate about animal testing. I have a really strong opinion on it. And a lot of people my age don't really know a lot about it, so I want to just educate and inform them about it. And I'm going to be doing a video for my sort of project. And in the video, I'm going to be interviewing people one-on-one to get their opinion on it and see how people's opinions can vary. I'm also going to include sort of like research that I do outside of it, so like Lush and the Body Shop, see how they're campaigning against it, and include videos of people protesting and stuff like that. I'm going to mainly look at the cosmetic side of animal testing because that's what I'm like against, and then I'm also going to include the medicational side because I think it's important because some people can be against animal testing for the sake of the cosmetic, but then medicational is sort of a different story. It's a different side of it. And yeah, that's like a table for all of the animals that have, sort of numbers for the animals that have been tested on in 2014. So there's guinea pigs, hamsters, rabbits, dogs.
Sorry, is this Europe or is this around the world, do you know?
This is England.
This is just England?
Yeah, in 2014.
Is it Britain or
England.
wow.
And my stretch and challenges I faced during this project is the video and editing because it's not so cute. Because it's not something that I'm really familiar with, so it will sort of push me out of my comfort zone to sort of, learn how to do it and include, and that's it.
Cool, well done. You taught me something. I had no idea that high street brands were still doing it.
Yeah, it's really shocking. Sort of Mac's a really big one, and
But do they say that they do it ethically? Is that how they get around it? Do they say we give them a carrot before we test them? How?
I have no idea.
They must get away with it somehow, mustn't they?
Companies like Mac, right? They've got a big store in Spitalfields, for instance. So they give off like this young, trendy sort of almost like deep, high-end type makeup. That's and so they're like they've got this appeal to young people.
Well, I'm genuinely upset by it. I've bought these brands for my wife, not knowing I'm contributing to animal cruelty. I had no idea. We've been talking about this, and this is part of your assignment. For what, maybe 30 years, and they're still doing it?
Yeah.
So raising awareness is needed to be done. The Lush thing and all that.
Yeah.
They've been behind it for a while, Lush.
Yeah.
So before the Body Shop, I believe.
Yeah, because Body Shop have just started doing it.
Just because Lush kind of made it such a big deal out of it. And I would go to Lush to buy presents for people on that basis, that they don't get. So that's kind of, it's really important.
Yeah.
You could do something where you say to interview people, so if you ever contribute to animal testing, they say no, you say yes, you have to all their products. And you shock people by saying that. Because most people, of course I ever contribute to animal testing, how dare you say that?
Well, what there is research, so you can, if you found a set of people, like a sample of people, women maybe, and ask them about their use of cosmetics. And so you can do two types of research. First of all, find out what they use, and then see if they'd be open to just be interviewed on camera or whatever. And then you ask them, did you know? So you let them tell you first, that yes, I use that. And then you record their responses, you don't necessarily set it up too much. You just tell them it's 2 lines of research you're doing with them. And that could be really good, to gauge people's responses. There's probably a lot of people who will be shocked when they found out.
A lot of people don't know.
Work on the shock factor. Is it going to be a video? Sorry. One like is it like a documentary? Right. So that you should look at. Have you looked at other documentaries on animal testing? There'll be loads. Have a look at so Google it. There must be a Channel 4 Dispatches one. YouTube like animal testing documentary. There'll be a few. Look at what they do well. Look at what they do not so well, and think. What have you added to it? I can't imagine this being one made by 16 now.
Amazing.
So apologies, sorry, right? And a young student, that's what I'm saying. They're usually made by someone that's like a lot older. So you can do, that's just sort of your unique angle. Just look at what they do well and what they do wrong.
When I was your age, I worked I used to work in construction. I worked at a place where they did testing on vehicles in Hertfordshire. And this place we had to get security kind of clearance because it was always getting raided and stuff. And we was building like a new wing there and stuff. But part of the job meant that you had to kind of almost be in some of these places where they kept the dogs. And they are like little cells, like little cages, just with full of dogs, full of pups and bred, to actually do testing on.
You should talk to Shane Dashley in the class because he's doing about rescue animals and he knows a lot about animal welfare.
Well, I was just thinking there's opportunities to talk with other members of other groups.
And Livia as well.
We've got other girls in other groups doing
Livia's doing
stuff on makeup.
Yeah.
Doing stuff on makeup, like pro makeup.
Yeah.
So wouldn't be anything wrong with sitting down and recording a little discussion about did you know this and having just a little discussion.
That's the hair and beauty. The hair and beauty bit. Talk to them. I wonder. I don't know, but I wonder if they teach about animal testing.
We're coming up with these ideas that I can see that you've got to stretch yourself a little to speak to people maybe that you wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
But then there's opportunities. That's what we're saying.
Also, prepare yourself that they might get a little bit irate with you as well.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Depends.
Don't worry about it.
Depends how you handle it. Yeah. So it's not.
Did you throw a good punch?
Oh yeah.
You look at the violence man, like some like Greenpeace, like their protests sometimes are really violent.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Greenpeace, but like animal testing, like it's been known like to be not like deliberately violent, but the protests have gone a bit bad. So look at that, and that that's what like if you say the word animal testing, we go, oh god, like you're on your high horse or whatever, like because of that nature of it, because people just assume that these people that are just like tree huggers, that you ever heard of what a tree hugger is? No. Just like a conservationist that kind of just is obsessed with living things and trying to save the world.
Yeah.
Also, some of the ways that the protests are done, there's controversy around that.
Yeah.
So you have to take that into account. Some of the ways that people protest, they're blowing things up and kind of like...
The Animal Liberation Front did get a bit...
They are. There is an element to that. There's kind of like, it's been suggested that some of these people, that's why they're behind the courts, because they enjoy that kind of protest. So you want to look into that a little bit to kind of show, if you like, the dark side even of protesting. And so there might be a need for different types of protesting, or that question at least. Have you thought about a title for your... Is it just, are you just going to make a video, or are you going to do sort of a site, a platform where you're going to have this video, or is it simply a video?
I haven't thought about that yet.
Right. If it's a video, so if it's a video and you're confident that you can use the right skills to produce a decent video, you've probably got to develop those skills, but then you should just focus on doing one video, which is an in-depth kind of look at this situation. But then if it was going to be an ongoing kind of thing, maybe a sort of blog site, and then include maybe little videos in it. This is something for you to think about, right? How you want to actually do it. But try to think of like titles, even if it is a website or a blog. Think of titles and what your title actually means. So that establishes your purpose for what you're doing. So if you're raising awareness and stuff, try and think how you can suggest that in your title. For the whole project. It'd be really important to you.
You call it you can call it something like human testing. I.e., because that's shocking, that word.
Well, those words, testing, human, animals, everything, you could write all the words down on a piece of paper and then start just trying to come up with titles that might suggest something.
There was like a video of this woman who like protested against it, as she went in a shop window and like lied on a bed, and they had like all of the tests that they do on animals they done on her, and there was all these people walking past and watching, and obviously everyone was like... Everyone was more shocked to see it like being done on her. Because it's horrible.
No, it is horrible. And then, animals are kind of... there is this... I'm glad you pointed this out as well, but there's this thing between necessity. So, there's a thing on last night about a possible pandemic, a disease that would spread. And so, people would say that, we need to test animals for certain diseases and things like that, and how we can cope with those. Maybe so. But then there's also this cosmetics argument and stuff like that, isn't there? So you want to really look into all of it as much as you can. There's going to be lots of research. Although I was impressed with your data you gave us at the start. What could have been good is if you'd shown us some of that as well on the screen, because it was really good data.
Shock people with the stats, the shock. Shock. Don't think you make it like exaggerate. Let's look at documentaries already existing.
You've got to do lots of that. Look, lots of stuff that's already out there. And then you can decide if you're trying to do anything slightly different, maybe, and how you're going to do it. It's very good.
Well done, Jason.
Thank you.
What are you doing now? What are you off to now?
I'm going to go get lunch. And then I'm waiting here until Alex has done hers.
What time's that?
Like 2 something.
Okay.
So I'm getting a lift.
It's not stopping.
Oh.
I've pressed stop and it's not stopping.
Should I press not?
I only pressed it once. You do it. I will get harder.
Yeah, only switch users.
Yeah,
don't
no.
Okay.
Well done.
I was like, how do I do that? That's I don't know how to do that.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
See you on Monday. All the best.
Bye.
Bye now.
No, Mike, you hear cigarette or...
Sorry?
Clear the favour.
Well, let's do the last one
Yeah.
if Harley's in, and we've done the job.
Is it just Harley?
I think it is, yeah.
I was just writing down. We had some good ones, right?
Very good,
Yeah.
very good presentation. Very good.
Well, Harley, you alright? Yeah.
Oh, how you doing? You got glasses on today? Do you
This
always
is
wear
it.
glasses?
No, I've got them like 2 weeks ago.
They suit you. They look very nice.
Right.
Very nice.
Do I need to log on to get my
You
thing?
certainly do if you're using a PowerPoint. I'm afraid you've got to stand up. We're having some problems with the camera at the moment. So we're going to get Dave. You don't mind being filmed, do you?
No, I'm not fast.
Alright, yeah. Everyone can be filmed. Oh, David's mucking about again.
Bingo.
What's with the finger?
Don't press not. Oh, cool.
Why is it so temperamental? Why does it keep going off? Oh, I don't know. You're going to tell me. You're going to give me an answer which I won't understand anyway.
Don't know where it's not from.
You're the last one before lunch. Aren't you?
Yeah.
Stop! Stop! Stop!
You're not the nervous type, are you? You're not the nervous type. You're not, are you?
No, I was before I done the elevator one, but when I done that, I was fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, well done. Because we've had some very, I won't say who, but we've had some very nervous people.
When I get going, when you're all sitting down, I stutter. That's about it.
Is it working?
I'm just going to turn it off and put it back on.
It was Dave that broke it. No, not Dave. Not Dave. I mean Graham. I can't even grasp people properly.